not long ago, at, of all places, Rogers Toastmasters, an amazing thing happened. Unbeknownst to our speakers, 2 of our 3 speeches that day shared exactly the same topic. Organ donation. Now, I am not a believer in coincidence. As I sat in the back of the room, listening to these 2 speeches reminded me of how I came to be an organ donor and gave birth to today's talk. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most honored guests. For me, the very thought of being an organ donor was, for many years, well, it's like the guy you've seen in the movies. Now, you all seen this guy, haven't you? Squaring off against someone going, hey, you want a piece of me? Not happening. When it came to being an organ donor, that guy was this guy. My reasons were extraordinarily well-founded, though. Oh, sure, we could cite the religious concerns or questionable medical practices. But truthfully, all of those reasons combined could not hold a candle to my most compelling reasons. Ignorance. I didn't know anything about being an organ donor. What's more, I liked it that way. All I knew is at the end of time, when my body comes back, I got to make sure it comes back with all of its parts. Isn't it amazing how in an instant, a lifetime of beliefs and convictions, and even of ignorance, can be completely overturned? On a beautiful day in February of 1996, I received a call from my sister Pam telling me that our youngest sister Terry had just been taken to the hospital with what they believed was a stroke. When I got to the hospital, our entire family was there. My youngest brother Pete met me and was the first one to meet me coming down the hall, and we gave each other a great big hug, and then Pete breathed 6 words into my ear that changed my life. She's not going to make it. Just then, Pete had to tighten his grip on me because my legs had gone weak. I said, no, Pete, you got it wrong. This can't be. Terry just turned 38 not 2 days ago. I mean, she's the epitome of beauty and health. She loved life. She loved her 2 little girls. She loved to dance. You could have seen how Terry could dance. This is a mistake. This can't be. How could this be? The best the doctors could share with us is that Terry had suffered from a brain aneurysm. There was no way to explain why this had happened. It just happened. She was on total life support and was pronounced brain dead shortly after I arrived at the hospital. Terry remained on life support, however, because Terry was an organ donor. And even so, the doctors and surgeons could not touch any of Terry's organs without the written consent of her husband, Ralph. Well, after what you can imagine was an agonizing consultation with the doctors, with experts in our family, and even with their 13-year-old daughter, Kim, Ralph signed the consent. Each of us was granted just a moment to be with Terry, to say our goodbyes, and then Terry left with the surgeons. Now, that day had started out like any other day. That night, our family of 10 had lost its first. Over the months that followed, an organization called LifeSource shared with us how Terry's gifts had been used. Most notably was how she had saved one man's life through the miracle kidney that Terry provided. In his mid-40s, he now enjoys life with his family because a beautiful young woman of 38 chose to be an organ donor. Every year in the United States alone, over 7,000 people die waiting for the chance at life that comes from donors. Now that's 19 people every single day. Over 90,000 others are waiting right now on the National Transplant waiting list. Over 90,000, that's unimaginable. Well, a short time after Terry passed, my wife Ann and I were driving in the car and talking about all the things that had happened. Ann decided that this might be a good time to broach this topic with me. Has any of this changed your mind about being a donor? In that instant, I was so clear on how right it was for me to be a donor. I was so clear that there was not one single reason that I should not be a donor, and about 90,000 reasons why I should. So did Terry's passing have meaning? Oh, you bet it did. You bet. She gave life a chance for one young father in the Midwest. She freed me from a lifetime of selfish ignorance, and as a result will probably save other lives when I pass. She even inspired me to give this speech so that maybe, just maybe, one person, after hearing this talk today, will choose to be a donor. And as for my concerns about having all of my parts at the end of time, the way I see it, if God can do this good of a job the first time around, with one minor exception, I'm willing to bet He can do it again. Because when my time to leave this world comes, and the surgeons are preparing to harvest my organs, you better believe I'm going to be in that operating room, squaring off with those guys going, "Hey, you want a piece of me?" Have at it, gentlemen. I'm through. As a matter of fact, I'm next on Terry's dance card. Madam President.